Academy. In the ancient Indian history, we are discussing post-Mauryan period. In the post-Mauryan period, originally post-Mauryan period from 200 BC to 300 AD. This 500 years period is called as post-Mauryan period. In this post-Mauryan period, there occurred so many kingdoms. There were so many kingdoms in India, especially in the northern India and southern India. So in the last class, we discussed that indigenous kingdoms are ruled this part and this part. The entire northwestern India, foreign rule. It was under the foreign rule. So in the last video, we completed Sungas and Kanvas, those who ruled the Pataliputra. They ruled Pataliputra. Below that, Deccan. This Deccan plateau was under the control of the Satavahanas. And this part, eastern part, was under the control of the Chedi kingdom. That was Kalinga Chedi kingdom. So here, now we have to start the Satavahanas. Satavahanas, they ruled Deccan. Satavahanas, they ruled the Deccan area. They ruled Deccan, and they ruled from, initially they ruled from the, I think, Kotilingala, because the early Satavahana king coins were found at Kotilingala. Okay, originally who were the Satavahanas? Satavahanas were feudals of Mauryans. Satavahanas are the feudals of Mauryans. They are the feudals of Mauryans. That means in the northern kingdom, while before the Sungas and Kanvas, Mauryans, they ruled under the Mauryans. Satavahanas, they ruled Deccan. But during this period, Mauryan period, 13th major rock edict of Ashoka, it mentioned Andhra Bhrutyas. These Andhra Bhrutyas were later period considered as a Satavahanas, because same Andhra Bhrutyas name also found in the Puranas. Puranas also mentioned Andhra Bhrutyas. But Andhra Bhrutya, according to the Nilakanta Sastri and Rai Chowdhury, these people, they have opinion that Andhra Bhrutyas are the feudals of Andhras. They were not originally Andhras, but they might be the feudals of the Andhras. Whatever it may be, this Andhra Bhrutya word mentioned in the Puranas and 13th Major Edict, they ruled Deccan. These Andhra Bhrutya rulers, those who mentioned in the Puranas, they are matched with the Satavahana kings. So Satavahanas, according to this, Satavahanas are the Andhras. Satavahanas were the Andhras, according to this Puranas. But in the inscriptions of the Satavahanas, coming to the point of the inscriptions of Satavahanas, no inscription of Satavahanas mentioned the word Andhra. This is one controversy on the Satavahanas. No Purana mentioned Satavahana name. But kings are both kings are same. So this is a interesting point, and this became controversy on the different rulers, different historians. Historians, they made more controversies. It became debatable issue of the historians. This is one point. And coming to the point of the early Satavahana inscriptions. Early Satavahana inscriptions were found in Maharashtra. So that's why most of the historians, they have opinion that Satavahanas might be belongs to the Maharashtra. But in the Kotilingala found the coins of the first Satavahana ruler Srimukha. Inscriptions are found Maharashtra, but Kotilingala found first Satavahana ruler Srimukha's coins were found at Kotilingala. This was also another interesting point, another controversy among the historians. Like this, there were some controversies. Whatever it may be, most of the historians, Nilakanta Shastri and others, most of the historians, they accepted Satavahanas are the Andhras. Okay. Andhra is not the name of the area. Initially, Andhra is not the name of the area. Coming to the point of the Andhra controversy, Andhra is name of language, not the name of area. Originally, the people, those who are on the river bank of Godavari and Krishna river, the people, those who lived on the Godavari and Krishna river banks, they are called as Andhras. These people are called as Andhras. These are the Andhras. These Andhra people, Andhra initially mentioned as a race, that is a tribe. Andhra mentioned as tribe. Initially, Andhra mentioned as tribe. Later period, this Andhra mentioned as the name of the language during the time of 2nd century BC. This period, 2nd century BC period, Bharata wrote Natya Shastra. In the Bharata's Natya Shastra mentioned Andhra as a language. First time Andhra mentioned as a language in the Bharata's Natya Shastra. So like that, Andhra is a language. Yes. And we are knowing the Satavahana history from different sources. Like there are inscriptions to tell about the Satavahanas. Inscriptions like Nanaghat inscription, which was issued by the Naganika's Nanaghat inscription says about the Satavahana king Satakarni I, because she was wife of the Satakarni I, and she gave other Satavahana kings and other Naganika's father. She also mentioned her father name, Tranakairu. It speaks about, Nanaghat inscription speaks about two main things. One is the matrimonial relationship between the Marathas, that is Maharashtra people, and Satavahanas. Satavahanas, they have matrimonial relations with Maharashtra kingdom. Maharashtra kingdom, that is feudal, or one Maharadi, he was called as Maharadi, who was the head of this small area, Maharadi. Maharadi Tranakairo. Maharadi Tranakairo. Maharadi Tranakairo daughter Naganika, she got married with Satakarni I. That means Tranakairo, he gave his daughter to the Satakarni I. This is one thing. Second one, we are knowing something about the Satakarni I. That is Satakarni I, he extended his kingdom towards western region. Western extension of Satavahana kingdom. Western extension of Satavahana kingdom. So like this, we are knowing two things from this inscription. And other sources to know about the Satavahanas, another most important inscription, that is Nasik inscription, which was issued by the Gautami Balasri. Gautami Balasri, she was mother of Gautami Putra Satakarni. Mother of Gautami Putra Satakarni, Gautami Balasri, she issued an inscription called Nasik inscription. This Nasik inscription says about Gautami Putra Satakarni victories and achievements. Along with this, another inscription, that is Myokadauni inscription. Myokadauni inscription, found at Ballari. This was issued by the last ruler Pulomavi III, the last Satavahana king. The last Satavahana king, Pulomavi, he issued this inscription. Based on this, might be Pulomavi ruled from Ballari, he escaped to the Ballari. But some historians like V.S. Suktankar, he opinion that based on this inscription, Satavahanas might be belongs to the Karnataka region, according to the V.S. Suktankar, based on the last king Myokadauni inscription, it says about the village administration was under the control of the Gulmika. Village administration was under the control of the Gulmika. Gulmika was a head of a village. He was head of a village. And these three are mainly Satavahana sources. And other than the Satavahana inscriptions, like Hathigumpa inscription, which was issued by the Kharavela. It speaks about the war between Kalinga Kharavela and Satavahanas, Chedi kingdom and Satavahanas. And also he means another issued Guntupalli inscription, found at Guntupalli caves of Andhra Pradesh. So he might be came to the Andhra Pradesh. This was issued by the Kharavela. Along with this, some other inscriptions like Rudradamana 1, he issued Junagar inscription. This is also called as Girnar inscription. Junagar inscription or Girnar inscription. It was the first fully Sanskrit inscription. Junagar inscription, that you have to remember. Junagar is a place. This is also called as Girnar. The purpose of issuing this inscription was he repaired Sudarsana Lake. But in this inscription, he also mentioned matrimonial relations of the Sekas with Satavahanas. Sekas and Satavahanas. That means Sekas and Satavahanas. Rudradamana 1, he gave his daughter he gave his daughter Rudradamanika to the Gautamiputra Satakarni's second son, Sivasri Satakarni. So like that, these are the different sources to know about the Satavahana kingdom. And also there are some literary sources like Gada Saptasati, Halas, Gada Saptasati. It speaks about the village. Gada Saptasati speaks about village conditions, social conditions of the Satavahanas. Gunadyas Bruhat Katha. Gunadyas Bruhat Katha. This also speaks about Satavahanas. Along with this, Sarvavarma wrote Kathantra Vyakarana. This also speaks about Satavahanas. Somadeva Suri, he wrote Katha Saris Sagaram. Katha Sarit Sagaram. This also speaks about Satavahanas. Like this, there are different sources to speak about the Satavahanas. Yes. Now, after the coming the Satavahana sources, political history of the Satavahanas. Political history of the Satavahanas we can know from the Matsya Purana. Matsya Purana gave 30 Satavahana kings. In the Matsya Purana, there are 30 Satavahana kings. These 30 Satavahana kings, according to Matsya Purana, they ruled 456 years. This you have to remember. Might be according to some sources, Matsya Purana also started the composition of the Matsya Purana. 27th ruler of the Satavahanas, Yagnasri Satakarni period. Yagnasri Satakarni period. During the Yagnasri Satakarni period started the composition of Matsya Purana. Okay. But it did not give an order. And historians with great struggle, they kept in order. The only thing what we have to remember in the Indian history, until the 11th century AD, until the Kalhana wrote Rajtarangini, no Indian writer concentrated on the chronology of the Indian kingdoms. Only foreign writers, they kept Indian history into the chronological order. Because Puranas, they are giving information, that's all. But we cannot stand completely on the information of the Puranas. But if you want to reconstruct the Indian history, we should completely depend upon the Puranas. This is what is going on. Yeah. Political history of the Satavahanas starts with Srimukha. Approximately, Srimukha, he ruled from 221 BC to 198 BC. According to Puranas, he ruled 23 years. His coins were found at Kotilingala. On the name of Simukha or Chimukha. Srimukha mentioned as Simukha or Chimukha because that is in Prakrit language. Prakrit language cannot find Sri. Yes or sorry. Suppose in the Prakrit language, Dhamma, we can write Dhamma in the Prakrit language instead of Dharma. And Raja instead of Laja. Like that, this Puranas, Prakrit language, it cannot know the Ra sound, that not known to the Puranas. Srimukha, he ruled 23 years. According to the Jain literature, early Satavahanas, they followed Jainism. This is most important because asked several times in the APPSC examinations, because TSPSC did not conducted examination till now, just only one time conducted group 2. So we have to know about the APPSC. In the APPSC examinations, several times asked early Satavahanas followed Jainism. That you have to remember. And initially he followed the Jainism. Later he followed Vedic religion. Vedic religion. Vedic religion, it is also called as Brahmanism. Brahmanism. This Brahmanism is popularly called as Hinduism. Initially it was called as Vedic religion or Brahmanism. Later it continued as the Hinduism. So Srimukha, later he followed Hinduism. Because of that, according to the Jain literature, because of that he conversion into the Hinduism, he was killed by some people. Revolt occurred during his period. Revolt occurred during his period. He was killed by the people. After the death of Srimukha, he died early, just ruled 23 years. By this time, his son was not major. His son Satakarni I was minor. So in the place of the Satakarni I, Srimukha's brother Kanha or Krishna, he ruled. Krishna in Sanskrit, some places they used to call Kanha. That is okay. He ruled around 198 BC to 180 BC. This period. Almost 18 years he ruled. Krishna or Kanha. He was second ruler. He was also mentioned in the different inscriptions like Naganika, Nanaghat inscription. And he was contemporary of Magadha ruler. He was contemporary of Magadha king Pushyamitra Sunga. Pushyamitra Sunga. By this time, that is 183 BC, 187 BC, Pushyamitra Sunga established Sunga dynasty in the Magadha. So he was a contemporary to the Pushyamitra Sunga. And Pushyamitra Sunga, he started Bhagavatism. That Bhagavatism or Vedic religion came to the South India during the time of the Kanha period. He brought some priests, scholars from the North India to propagate Brahmanism in South India. Remember, Brahmanism or Bhagavatism started revived during the time of the Pushyamitra Sunga period. That came to South India during the time of the Kanha or Krishna period. And during the Krishna or Kanha period, there were some people called Dhamma Mahamatras. Dhamma Mahamatras. These Dhamma Mahamatras originally appointed by Asoka. These Dhamma Mahamatras, they are living in the caves. Originally they are living in the caves. They are living in the caves. So he established, Krishna established Nasik caves. Krishna gave Nasik caves for that is Kanheri caves. Kanheri caves were given to the Dhamma Mahamatras, those who are coming from the time of the Asoka period. These were Dharma Mahamatras. They used to protect the Dharma, and later period they started to protect Buddhism. In the Krishna or Kanha period, you have to remember the things, that is, he started revivalism in the South India, Brahmanism in South India. He issued Kanheri caves. After him, Satakarni I. Satakarni I, according to some sources, Satakarni I, he ruled from 180 to 170 BC. That is only he ruled 10 years. Satakarni I, very short period. He was a greatest among the early kings of the Satavahanas. Greatest among the early kings of Satavahana, Satakarni one. His wife Naganika, she issued Nanaghat inscription. This Nanaghat inscription of Naganika speaks about Satakarni one victories and Satakarni one victories and achievements. Satakarni one, he started the extension of the kingdom towards west. Whenever he started the extension of the kingdom towards west, he defeated many western kings. So he wanted to know the extension of the empire. He started Ashwamedha Yaga. Remember one thing, he was the first Satavahana ruler who started Vedic religious sacrifices. Vedic religious sacrifices are the Vedic yagnas and yagas. Vedic yagnas and yagas in the Satavahanas period started by the Satakarni one, that was third ruler. He defeated Ujjaini. He occupied Ujjaini. That was also most important thing during his period. He occupied Ujjaini and also issued coins on the name of the Ujjaini Torana. That was, Torana means gateways. Huge gateway is called as Torana. And he also issued coins under Ujjaini Torana. He conducted Ashwamedha Yaga. He issued coins on the name of the Ashwa. The horse which was used for the purpose of the Ashwamedha Yaga, that is called as sacred Ashwa. Sacred horse. Most of the people, they used to struck coins on this horse. Strucking the image of the horse on the coin, issuing for the circulation. That indicates the king who started the Ashwamedha Yaga. Same like that, coming to the point of Samudragupta, Gupta ruler Samudragupta, he also issued coins on the name of the horse. And Satakarni one, he was also called as Mallakarni. During his period, he was contemporary of Kalinga Kharavela. Kalinga Kharavela issued Hathigumpa inscription. According to Hathigumpa inscription, Kalinga Kharavela defeated Satakarni one. But according to Naganika's Nanaghat inscription, Satakarni one defeated Kalinga Kharavela. So he wrote about himself. That was happened. After the Satakarni one, he died early. By that time, his two sons Vedasri and Satasri, these two are minor rulers, minor sons. These two are the minors. On the name of these two sons, Naganika, she ruled the kingdom. She was the first queen who entered into the political system of Satavahanas. She entered into the political system of the Satavahanas. So she started the rule on the name of Vedasri and Satasri. According to the Hathigumpa inscription, Vedasri was defeated by the Kalinga Kharavela. After this, next important king of the Satavahanas, 13th king of the Satavahanas, 13th king, he was Kuntala Satakarni. Kuntala Satakarni wife Malayavati. Malayavati. She was taken from the Kuntala kingdom. Because he defeated Kuntala kingdom, that's why he was called as Kuntala Satakarni. Mentioned in the Vatsayana's Kama Sutra. He mentioned in the Vatsayana's Kama Sutra. Kuntala Satakarni, he brought his wife Malayavati from Kuntala. She known Sanskrit. But Kuntala Satakarni not known Sanskrit. That's why Malayavati, she gave challenge to the Kuntala Satakarni to learn Sanskrit within 6 months. Finally, Kuntala Satakarni, he learned Sanskrit and also he known about the sweetness of the Sanskrit. That's why, sweetness of the Sanskrit, that's why Kuntala Satakarni, he wanted to propagate the Sanskrit. He issued Sanskrit inscriptions. He started to issue Sanskrit inscriptions. Sanskrit inscriptions. He was the first Satavahana ruler who started to issue the Sanskrit inscription, and his wife Malayavati died because of the Karirti. While she was playing Karirti game with Kuntala Satakarni, she fallen from the height to the down, she died. That was Karirti, a game. And remember one thing, Panchagnula Adinarayana Sastri, he translated Kama Sutra into Panchagnula Adinarayana Sastri. Panchagnula Adinarayana Sastri, he translated Kama Sutra into Telugu, that also you remember. So this is about the 13th ruler. After this 13th ruler, 17th ruler Hala. Next important king was 17th ruler Hala. 17th king Hala. Hala, he was called as Kavi Vatsala because he maintained, Kavi Vatsala, he patronized many poets. He himself poet. He composed Gadha Saptasati in Prakrit language. Remember one thing, this is important for the examination point of view. Satavahanas, they followed Prakrit. Satavahanas official language Prakrit. Satavahanas issued inscriptions in Prakrit. And Satavahanas, they used Brahmi script in the inscriptions. So Gadha Saptasati was written by Hala in the Prakrit. It was, Gadha means stories, Saptasati, 700 stories. 700 stories. It contains 700 poems, 700 stories. Each poem gives one story. That is 700 stories. Hala's marriage with Leelavati. Leelavati, she was Ceylonese princess Leelavati. He married Ceylonese princess Leelavati, that is Leelavati Parinayam. Leelavati Parinayam, this book was written by Kutuhala. In this book, Leelavati Parinayam, Kutuhala, he mentioned about the Sapta Godavari. It was Sapta Godavari. It was Draksharamam. That is important. After this, Gunadhya, who wrote Bruhat Katha, Sarvavarma, who wrote Katantra Vyakarana, these two poets also lived in the court of the Hala. Gunadhya wrote Bruhat Katha. Originally, Bruhat Katha was not available. It was 5 parts. Fifth part of the Bruhat Katha was written as Somadeva Suri Katha Sarissagar. Sarvavarma wrote Katantra Vyakarna. Sarvavarma wrote Katantra Vyakarna. This is about the 17th ruler Hala. After the 17th ruler Hala, next most important ruler of the Satavahanas, he was Gautami Putra Satakarni. Gautami Putra Satakarni. Gautami Putra Satakarni, he was called as he was mentioned as a 23rd ruler in the Matsya Purana. Matsya Purana, he mentioned as a 23rd ruler. Mostly he ruled from 78 AD to 102 AD. This period he ruled. Gautami Putra Satakarni, he was greatest king of the Satavahanas. His mother Gautami Balasri, she issued Nasik inscription. Nasik inscription says about the victories of Gautami Putra Satakarni, and also it says about the titles of the Gautami Putra Satakarni. He was called as Trisamudra Toya Pitavahana. Trisamudra Toya Pitavahana. That means so. The land between 3 seas, that is Arabian Sea, Indus Ocean and Bay of Bengal. The land between these 3 seas was under the control of the Gautami Putra Satakarni. His horses drank the water of 3 seas. That indicates the entire kingdom of lies between the 3 seas was under the control of Gautami Putra Satakarni. And also he was mentioned as Eka Brahmana. He protected Brahmins. Eka Brahmana. During the time of the Gautami Putra Satakarni, there were foreigners in India called Sekas. They are also called as Satrapas. Seka Satrapas. And Yavanas, Indo-Greeks. These people, they were marrying Indian wives, Indian women. That's why Gautami Putra Satakarni, he stopped the mixing of Varna. Varna Sankarya Nirodhakara. Varna Sankarya Nirodhakara. That means he stopped the mixing of Varnas. Varna Sankarya Nirodhakara. And he was also called as Agama Nilaya. Agama Nilaya means, Agamas means Vedas. He was well versed in the Vedas. He has very good knowledge over the Vedas. That is Agama Nilaya, Gautami Putra Satakarni. Gautami Putra Satakarni period, he defeated Satrapa ruler Nahapana. Satrapa ruler Nahapana was defeated by the Gautami Putra Satakarni. Nahapana coins were taken by the Gautami Putra Satakarni. On the name of the Nahapana, he struck his name. Gautami Putra Satakarni, he issued restruck coins. That is, Nahapana's coins restruck by the Gautami Putra Satakarni. These coins were found at Jogalatambi in Maharashtra. These were called as Jogalatambi hoards. That is Jogalatambi Nidhulu. Jogalatambi hoards. And this is about the Gautami Putra Satakarni. After this Gautami Putra Satakarni, last important ruler, but not last ruler, last important ruler, he was Yagnasri Satakarni. Might be he was 27th ruler, Yagnasri Satakarni, 27th ruler. He ruled from 174 AD to 203 AD, this period. Yagnasri Satakarni, contemporary of Acharya Nagarjuna. contemporary of Acharya Nagarjuna, who was called as second Buddha. Acharya Nagarjuna called as second Buddha. Acharya Nagarjuna, he was called as second Buddha because he was pro-founder of second Buddhist sect Mahayana Buddhism. He was founder of the Mahayana Buddhism, Acharya Nagarjuna. That's why he was called as second Buddha. And he was the most propagator of the Buddhism. Like he was called as a Lutheran of the Buddhism. Acharya Nagarjuna wrote to Madhyamika Karika. Madhyamika Karika. Madhyamika Karika, it was a Bible of Mahayana Buddhism. Bible of Mahayana Buddhism. And he also wrote Prajna Parimita. Prajna Parimita. It also speaks about Mahayana Buddhism. Prajna Parimita means knowledge also should have some limit. He also wrote to Ratnavali Raja Parikatha. Ratnavali Raja Parikatha. In this book, he speaks about welfare mechanism, welfare state. That is welfare state, welfare mechanism. Like in our Indian Constitution, DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy, they would give the direction to the government how to rule on the name of the welfare of the people. That this Ratnavali Raja Parikatha, it speaks about the welfare state of welfare mechanism of the state. Yagnasri Satakarni, he constructed Parvataka Vihara. Yagnasri Satakarni, he constructed Parvataka Vihara to the Acharya Nagarjuna. Acharya Nagarjuna, he gave Suhruleka, dedicated Suhruleka to the Yagnasri Satakarni. Yagnasri Satakarni issued ship model coins. He struck the image of the ship on the coins, ship model coins. That indicates foreign trade developed during the time of the Yagnasri Satakarni. And the last Satavahana king Pulomavi III was defeated by the Vasishti Putra Sri Santamula, and he went to the Ballari. This is about by the end of the Pulomavi II ended the Satavahana kingdom. This is about the Satavahana kingdom. And after the Satavahana kingdom, in the post-Mauryan period, there is another kingdom in the east, that was Chedi kingdom. Chedi kingdom. Chedi dynasty, they ruled Kalinga. Kalinga Chedi dynasty. This Chedi dynasty in the Kalinga was established by the Mahameghavahana. That's why this kingdom is also called as Mahameghavahana dynasty, and the name of the founder of this dynasty. Their capital was Kalinga Nagari. Capital Kalinga Nagari. Capital Kalinga Nagari. They ruled Kalinga. Kalinga of that period from Orissa to almost Nellore. That you have to remember. Kalinga Nagari. And during this period, originally coming to the point of the Kalinga, first time Kalinga was captured by the Magadha ruler, Magadha king, Mahapadmananda. During the Mahapadmananda period, he defeated Kalinga and he brought Jain idols from Kalinga to the Pataliputra. He brought Jain idols from Kalinga to the Pataliputra. This was happened during the time of the Mahapadmananda period. And coming to the point of the greatest king of Chedi dynasty, Kalinga Kharavela. Kalinga Kharavela. Kalinga Kharavela, he followed Jainism. Kalinga Kharavela followed Jainism. He followed the Jainism. He constructed Mahavihara, Mahaprasada, Mahavijaya Prasada. He constructed Mahavijaya Prasada. That was a fort for himself. He issued Hathi Gumpa inscription. Hathi Gumpa inscription. Hathi means elephant. Gumpa means foot of the elephant. The stone which was issued in the Udayagiri hills. Udayagiri hills. This stone in the Udayagiri hills looks like elephant foot. That's why it is called as Hathi Gumpa inscription. It speaks about the Kalinga Kharavela. It wrote in the Brahmi script in Prakrit language. According to this inscription, Kalinga Kharavela, he defeated Magadha king Pushyamitra Sunga. Magadha king Pushyamitra Sunga. Pushyamitra Sunga was defeated by the Kalinga Kharavela. What is that? Mahapadmananda taken away Jain idols. Again, Kalinga Kharavela, he rebrought the Jain idols to the Kalinga. And Kalinga Kharavela also defeated Satavahanas. So this is about, after the Kalinga Kharavela, we are not knowing about the Chedi dynasty. Because Asoka, after the Asoka, Kalinga Kharavela was important ruler. After the Kalinga Kharavela, we have no information about the Chedi dynasty. This is about post-Mauryan period and Satavahana's Chedi dynasty. In the next class, we will discuss about the Sangam dynasty. There are three Sangam kingdoms. Pandya, Chera, Chola. These Pandya, Chera, Chola kingdoms we will discuss in the next video. Okay? Good luck to you all.